About an ounce.
About an ounce, yeah. Okay, so we talk about physical stressors, mental stressors. Some people you mentioned work. Okay, so stress that comes from work, from people, social stress. Worries. What else? Fears. What else? Good. And how would you categorize the whole group of like jealousy, envy?
Emotion.
Yeah, that's emotion, but yeah, jealousy is also emotion. Negative emotions obviously hurt our mental state of mind, but they also pollute our heart. Okay? They pollute our heart. Okay? In order to awaken, and this is a very popular word nowadays, but most people who talk about awakening don't understand what it means. And I am saying it loud and clear. Because it takes a lot more than a weekend course. Okay? Mark my words. It takes a lot of sweat and blood. Awakening takes a lot of work to even change. You know what Gandhi said? Even changing one thing, he had to work his entire life for just that. And he only practiced ahimsa, non-violence. For that one thing. Ahimsa is only one of whatever. We're not going to go into it right now, but Raja Yoga, anybody heard the word? Okay. Raja Yoga has 8 limbs, and if you want to practice it, it's just part of everything, right? But he took it really seriously, practiced just one. So, it takes a lot to get awakened, but in order for that to happen, 2 things must happen, and it's a must, and it doesn't have to happen in one lifetime, and it never does happen in one lifetime. In this lifetime, you may hear me talking or some other people talking about it. Something is going to go away, some things are going to go into your subconscious mind and being stored there. And maybe the next lifetime, you're not going to do anything about it in this lifetime, but maybe next lifetime somebody else will come around and remind you. That's why what I'm doing is reminding. Somebody else will come around and remind you, and you'll say, oh, that sounds familiar. That rings a bell. Okay? I must have heard that before. Well, maybe not in this lifetime, but, or you can't recall, right? So, 2 things. Pure mind and pure heart. How you get there, it's your thing. But those 2 things must be achieved. Those are prerequisites for awakening. That is why it doesn't take a weekend course to get there. Okay? It doesn't. Whoever tells you it does, send them to me. Okay. So, well, anyway, you understand. I want to touch a little bit. So, biological, you know, this mold, we have a lot of it here. Mold and yeast in our bodies, infections and whatnot, but around us as well. Those are very big stresses, biological stressors. You know, people can die from it, okay? If you're exposed to mold. So cleanliness, I say cleanliness is next to godliness. We mentioned it on our last event. And it's very, very important, okay? Chemical. We all spray our houses like there is no tomorrow with bleach and Windex and whatever else we find on a grocery store shelves, right? Don't. There are alternatives, okay? There are alternatives because as you breathe it, okay, guess what? For your body to get rid of pollutants, there are only 4 ways you can eliminate toxins from your body. Anybody cares to mention that?
The skin.
The skin.
Bowels.
The bowels.
Sweat.
The lungs. The respiratory system. And
Sweat.
the sweat. That's the skin. The bladder. The bladder. Good. Okay. Yeah, and just say bowels. Yeah. So when you pee, when you doo-doo, when you sweat, and when you
Breathe.
and when you breathe. Okay? Now what happens if your lungs are clogged? You no longer eliminate see what I mean.
That's right.
Okay? Now what happened is, this brings us much further down the line. I'll touch on it right now. Our body must have fresh red blood cells created every time I snap my fingers. Okay? Trillions of them are created every time I snap my finger. Right? You know, right? Okay. About every 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, the entire blood circulates through our heart. What happens when you bring dirty blood into your heart and through your organs? Now you're polluting your entire environment. What happens when your intestines are clogged? There's not enough oxygen in your in your tissues to create red blood cells. What happened then? Now this is something, there may be a lot of opinions, but this is something that's called, the new biologists talk about it, but they actually spoke about it in the 1800s. Okay? Pleomorphosis happens. Your body starts eating itself. It starts taking, you know how blood cells through the stem cells are creating body cells. You know, blood cells turns into bone cells and brain cells and whatever other cells we need at the time we need it. However, the reverse can happen too. If our body is not capable of creating enough blood cells. Okay? So think about your poor body and think about how much we torture it in all kind of ways. The pizza way, the Coke way, the all kind of ways. I can't even think about it because for 7 years I haven't touched any of this. The cake way, unless you have raw cake.
Pharmaceutical way.
The what?
Pharmaceutical.
The pharmaceutical way, the drug way. Huh? Alcohol, that's another drug. Okay, let's move along. Our bodies are designed, and they are designed to be alkaline. Alkaline means, you know when you get a fever? If it goes beyond a certain point, you can die. Okay? Well, when your blood pH level, okay, goes beyond or below a certain point, which is 7.356, okay, you die. What does your body do in order to keep you alive? Any idea? Because we're all acidic. We're all, life by nature is acidic. When you breathe, you acidify yourself. When you act, you acidify yourself. When you think, you're acidifying yourself. Anything you do, of course, when you get angry, when you get jealous, all the negative emotion comes into place. Junk food and all the rest of it, it's all acids taken in, okay? So, what does your body do in order to keep you alive? Any ideas?
Buffers.
It buffers. It has to buffer, otherwise you're going to die. How does it buffer? Thanks for being here. How does it buffer?
Well, the acid, the other side is alkaline.
It produces sodium bicarbonate.
Your stomach always produces sodium bicarbonate, by the way. That's another opinion kind of thing, but the new findings are your stomach is actually a sodium bicarbonate production factory.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is. But here's what your body does, in case you didn't know. How many people have suffered from osteoporosis, for example? I have some people in my family. Okay? How many people have a problem with the little pump? Anybody here with a pump problem? No? Thank God. Huh? No, I mean with heart. Heart. Anybody with a heart thing? Okay. Listen, guys. Your body must buffer its acid by taking its alkaline minerals from your bones, from your muscles. emotions that comes with it. And you know, I didn't touch on that, but that is one of the most important stressors in our life, especially in the world we live in. Disconnection. We feel disconnected. We feel sad in our heart. We feel sad and disconnected if we feel that way. But as a society, we suffer from spiritual stressor that is called disconnected. We don't know who we are. We have no clue. We keep looking and looking and looking. That is why I made it my life mission to turn seekers into seers. Not by preaching, but by doing, by practicing. In yoga we call it sadhana. It's nothing but practice. That is the sweat I was talking about. That is what the key, that is the key to awakening. That every day, every morning, every moment, you do some kind of practice that reminds you who you are. Reminds you how